we'll take it.
Yeah.
So now we're two like chubby sophomores on bikes with a fucking Santa bag filled with donuts and bagels, driving through like a Target parking lot at 2 a.m. And of course, a cop stops us, and the cop's like, "Woo!" And we're like, "Hello, officer," and he's like, what's in the bag?" And we were like, donuts and bagels. And like he was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do with that?" And like I was like, "Put them in our tummies."
Dystopia tonight. Dystopia tonight.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Robert.
You been up there all night?
Yeah, just keeping watch.
You need SimpliSafe's new wireless outdoor security camera. It works with SimpliSafe's already award-winning home security for even more comprehensive protection.
What? Hey, Shirley!
What?
You're not gonna believe this.
The new wireless outdoor security camera is here, only from SimpliSafe.
You should cut your hair.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Was it you? Did you do it with a fake account?
I actually just texted you and I said you should cut your hair during that intro.
Just come. I'm waiting for you to do it, buddy. That's all I need.
Dude, give me some clippers. We'll make it look nice. Give me a fade.
It is. I don't need. You know what? I used to go to this barber who all the time used to refuse to cut my hair the way I liked it, and he would be like, "About a nice Italian boy," and I'd be like, "I don't want whatever you're saying." Like he would part it like literally like through the side, down the middle, shit. Oh God, brutal.
My favorite was when I was in like 6th grade, 7th grade, when I was like a fat little meatball child, and like my mom would take me to the barber, and they'd be like, "What do you want to do?" And I'd be like, "Give me ice picks," because that was like the Guido thing to do. So I'm just like a fat little like ice picks, and I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah, man. Do you remember back? I mean, I don't know if this was when, because how far apart were we in high school?
Really quick. Thanks for having me, guys. That was so nice of the commercial.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a great commercial. I told you, my manager was like, I had no idea he was the guy in the commercial. I was like, fuck yeah, man. He's legit.
And we're working hard to get promos, so I'm just going to send them a bill and be like, we played it.
Yeah, Not only did we play it, we had the guy on top of his roof. So cough it up.
I'm still up here.
I would have loved if your background was the roof if we came back from the commercial.
I should have done that.
That would have been so fucking great. Let's start it over.
Yeah. All right.
Cut. No, but yeah. How old? When did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school in 2009.
2009. Okay, so that's not too bad because I was in 2004. Ken and I went to the same high school, and he graduated in 2009. I graduated in 2004. I don't know if you guys had the kids that had the fucking flip with the blonde in the middle. Did you guys have those douches?
Did we have those? I was that kid.
Take back my douches comment.
Bleached in the front that turned orange.
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
That was when you knew. That's how you knew people were cool and shit. You know what I mean? And I didn't hang out with those kids. Like I kind of refused to do it. I don't know what I was protesting, being approachable. Maybe I have no idea. Yeah. But like I didn't do it.
You were trying to show like. It was too mainstream for you for the time. You should do it now. That's what you should do.
That's really what I should do. I'm just doing my 1970s. Here we go. Oh my God. That is, I love that you showed that. That is so good. That is so great, man.
I love that he has his childhood pictures on his phone. He's like, hold on. I got you.
Hey, man, listen, they always say, have the most important things ready to go.
Yeah. You know what I always loved about you though? You had, it seemed like it. I don't know if you actually did, but you had no fear from the time I met you when you were younger and we were talking about stand up and doing all that kind of shit. Just no fucking fear, dude.
Yeah. Not to like turn this weird or anything, but like when I was a kid, I almost died. I don't know if you know, this is a true story. I swear to God.
I don't know this. No.
Yeah. I had a heart problem when I was younger, and I went in for surgery just to like kind of close up a little like extra pathway in my heart.
Right.
And like the doctor was like, yeah, we're gonna go like through the neck and just like kind of like just go in, close it, and it should be easy. It's like a very common procedure. And I went for it, and like within the first like 10 minutes, they were like they hit like a main artery, and I was like in a coma for 7 days.
Oh my
I
god.
swear, I was
Holy
eight.
shit.
I was 8 years old. So like
Wow.
I always feel like, and I kind of like I feel like discovered later in life where it was just like, yeah, like I guess like that was like a beginning for me to be like, yes, like just have fun and like say stupid shit and like you said like no fear
Yeah.
because that's like something drastic that could have I could have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drastic. Uh,
Definitely on the
um,
drastic side of the spectrum.
and I don't tell that story to a lot of people, but like yeah, because like I feel like it's so easy to be like, oh man, that guy's crazy or fearless. He wouldn't do anything. But at the same time, it's like yeah, but it's like I also think it's fun. Like I like to get a rise out of people too. Like if I'm with if I'm with you, John,
Mhm.
and I just yell something to a construction worker on a light pole and see your reaction, that's funny to me.
Yeah.
Like
I
that,
know what you mean.
yeah.
It's always the best, man. When you're with people who actually let you be that way too, it's so fucking freeing. I remember, being with friends and stuff like that, and I used to just every now and again just be like, "Oh man, thanks. That was so much fun to hang out and just kind of fucking cut loose and be yourself." Because there's people who are really uptight, and you're gonna be around them, and sometimes it's fun to fuck with them too. But when you're with people who get it and they get you, and you're just kind of like, "Oh my god, this is the best to be around people like that." And you were always one of those people too.
Thanks, man. It's always fun to be with people who match you because when you are matching each other, it's a good time. And then when people you try and like say one up each other, but then that's when you start really getting kind of like that was wild, that was a great night. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you remember the first time you like acted out basically when you were younger or something like that? I mean, obviously, you've always been into that kind of shit, but like
when I was younger, I was really into theater and singing and stuff like that. And I knew what it was. This is gonna be crazy. First time I've acted out, I watched a home movie a few years ago, and it was my preschool graduation, and we did the Pledge of Allegiance, as you do in preschool. And then they shipped us after war. I was like holding the flag, and like, this is like in the 90s, and like everyone says the Pledge of Allegiance, and I forgot what it was, but I said something after the Pledge of Allegiance that made everybody laugh. And I think that was like the earliest core memory of me like getting a big laugh out of like a bunch of people that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit, I was doing it back then too.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. Like, so I think that was my earliest, but like one that sticks with me the most. I would not to say like this was funny, but like when I was in high school for Christmas, I just got dressed up as Santa Claus for school and just walked around with candy canes, and my buddies were elves. But like I would just like I did that because I didn't want to do anything in class that day. So I would just get up and walk out of class and be like, I have to go hand out these candy canes, and would just walk around and just would absolutely disrupt class. Like I hope they weren't learning anything serious that day.
Right.
They're just like
yeah. If anybody was wondering the kind of education we got, we were allowed to just leave.
Yeah.
If you were dressed as something bizarre or bad, they wouldn't question I remember there were people I remember graduating high school with who were like, you weren't in my class, but I remember you being there a lot. And I was like, I used to just walk around and no one gave a shit.
Like my favorite thing was like going through that smoker's path at lunch.
Yeah.
There was like a smoker's path because you couldn't smoke on school property. You also like couldn't smoke legally because you were all children. But it's not like we were in fucking Greece.
Well, I was gonna say we went to high school in the 50s.
Like fucking. But like to go to lunch, like you had to like go through this like smoker's path where like it felt like you were like were leaving school and like going to your car, and then like there'd just be a bunch of like people smoking, like looking at you, and it'd feel like a we shouldn't be here type situation.
Yeah.
Yes. Like switchblades came out. Like
yeah. It was kind of
dancing,
weird.
snapping.
It's also weird to talk about like what we did when we were younger in those days and what actual real people did when they were younger, because we thought we were kind of like whatever, and they were just like no.
So I did some crazy and stupid and silly shit when we were younger. Our friend Vinny DiStefano just brought up a story to me of Vin and I would just befriend people at like the gas station during the summers, like where we couldn't drive. We were just riding bikes, but we would like stay there till like 2 or 3 in the morning and just like hang out with these people who worked at the gas station.
Right.
And like I would like restock bottles. I'd be like, I got it. Like I would just like and this gas station we would hang out at, it was like a hybrid like Exxon Dunkin' Donuts. And at night, the Dunkin' Donuts would just take all the donuts and bagels and throw them into just garbage bags and throw them away. You know, food waste. That's cool.
Yeah.
So the first time we saw that, we were like, "You're just gonna throw these away?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "We'll take it."
Yeah.
So now we're two like chubby sophomores on bikes with a fucking Santa bag filled with donuts and bagels, driving through like a Target parking lot at 2 in the morning, and of course a cop stops us, and the cop's like, "Woo!" And we're like, "Hello, officer," and he's like, what's in the bag?" And we were like, donuts and bagels. And like he was like, yeah, and he's like, well, what are you gonna do with that? And like I was like, put them in our tummies. and he was so mad I wasn't like, throw them in houses, that he was like, get out of here. And he was so angry, like fuming.
Oh, that's great.
You know,
that's also a testament to the town we grew up in, is that cops don't have shit to fucking do except for pull over 2 sophomores on bicycles.
Yeah. What do you do with these donuts? Oh, I think they said like
we're gonna put our dicks in them.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna dock them. I think the cop also said like a purse went missing, and I was like, there's not a purse in these donuts. Anyway, we stole the purse, and
oh my god! See, that's the kind of shit that I remember that you guys always wound up doing. Like, and it's no surprise that you went into what you're doing now. You know what I mean? Because that's like,
yeah.
those are all good situations when you're younger. Befriending strangers, because you know most people like don't fucking talk to people you don't know, and then there's people like us who fucking talk to everyone.
Yeah.
And then that's why you wind up doing what you're doing.
It's important because it also, like, not to sound like this, it also, I guess, made like college easier, because like I wasn't afraid to talk to people or say something, or like, you know, to someone new, or be like, hey, what's up, I'm Ken. Just like kind of like go introduce myself immediately, because it's important. I mean, like this industry is all about networking. It's like, you know, how many people. Yeah. Wait, John, I have news, buddy. So like I feel like I can talk to anybody, and like I love just like talking and shooting the shit, and just being like, yeah, great, good talk. See you soon. Like easy.
Exactly.
So anyway, thanks guys.
Yeah, it is that thing where it's like, you know, making friends and doing that kind of shit is a lot easier. Like when I used to work regular jobs or whatever, and people would be like, oh my god, how'd you get away with saying that, or how'd you get away with doing that? It's like, because I've been doing this for like fucking ever, like talking to random people and making them laugh or doing whatever. Like it's not abnormal to me. Abnormal is when you're in a room with somebody and they don't see fucking shit. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna murder everyone.
And you're just like, oh, this, like, I'm not gonna take my eyes off you, and I'm not gonna be the weird one here about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't understand. Like, especially now, like I think it's so, you know, when I moved out to LA, it was like 2015, and even
you
then,
to LA? Wait, you're not there now.
No. Can't you see the sadness in my eyes?
Yeah,
I'm not in LA.
Yeah, you have to be in New Jersey.
Yeah. But no, I lived out there for like 2 years, and it was interesting because of just the one you're around, you know, different kinds of people, different speed out west, you know, than they are out here. So they're not quick on the uptake for the most part. The other thing is too, is like, you know, you're working with younger people doing stand-up and all this shit, totally different generations, and they are not friendly. Like, not that they're not like nice people, but they really don't have that kind of, hey, I'm so-and-so. If you do that, they're like, the fuck is wrong with you?
And it's so
I'm
weird
like,
because I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
It's
interrupt.
No, it's because it's funny because like people think like New York is so hard, but like New York people do that. Like you can talk to someone with a ferret on their head in New York.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And have like a normal conversation about science.
Yeah.
But like in LA, like people like just like I've only been to LA like once before, like a good amount of like few days, just like doing the show out there and stuff like that. And it was definitely a different set of pace. There was one thing I don't like about LA. I'm gonna get to that, but like you're right. I feel like everyone was very cool. Like a lot of people that primarily I knew was out there, so it was nice to catch up with people. But like even like at the end of the night, it was just like, all right, see you later. I got to drive home, and like it was just like it's a different vibe, different speed. My question is this about LA: why is everything in a fucking mini mall? Well, my friend was like, "Dude, you got to come meet us at this bar. It's like the sickest spot. This is where everyone comes hangs out." I'm like, "Cool, yeah, I'll be there." And like my Uber takes me. I'm like, "Why am I next to a Quick Check right now? What's going on here?" And I walk in, and they're just like, "We close in 20 minutes." I'm like, "It is 8:40. What are you
Yep.
talking about?"
Everything fucking closed. Nothing's open late. Well,
No.
most of the shit's in mini malls because, honest to Christ, there's no real reason for anyone to be there. It's a desert that they built up shit around. So there's like, you drive for a long time in the middle of nowhere, and then you get to mini malls, and then they're like, I don't know why, but this is 25 miles away, but it took you 4 days to get here. So we're going to put everything we possibly can so that you don't leave in this one area to make up for it. And you're like, oh, 24-hour fitness, a Chevy's isn't around anymore, but whatever. A solid reference that I'll edit out in post. But I think a Margaritaville would probably be the better
Yeah.
reference. I don't know if Jimmy Buffett still got those, but
They opened one in New York City. What are you talking about?
do they really? Holy shit.
Yeah, man, Times Square.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yep.
Times Square's lit
Times
now.
Square, baby. Yeah,
Fucking-
it really brought back the tourism.
I'm sure they love that there. Yeah, it's but like all that shit happens to be in the same place. Like, and I can't tell the difference between any of them. There's the Grove, there's the only thing I could tell the difference between is I went to a mini like mall area in Beverly Hills where I was like, this is the first time I've been out in public where I do not feel like somebody's going to rob me. Like I was like, I swear to God, they handed me cash because they were like, just in case someone does, we have a reputation to uphold. So we want you to have money on you when they not, and I was like, oh, cool, great. Because no one wanted my shit. I had that leather jacket that I wear and I look like me. So and they were all like really dressed.
You look like you were there as like a hitman.
Yeah. People were throwing change. They were like, are you hungry?
You know?
Is that what's going on? But yeah, it's a weird fucking place. The other thing I don't like too is I don't like how showy it is all the fucking time. Like you really can't go out there without feeling like you're constantly working.
Yeah.
Because everyone's talking about their shit, their script, or whatever.
I had an Uber driver, and he was like, "Are you guys actors?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to live in New York, and I used to work like on a TV show." And I'm like, "Oh cool." For like what he said, he was like, "Yeah." He's like, I like what? I have like 2 Emmys, and I was like, you have 2 Emmys, okay? And
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, I'm just like taking off for a little bit." And I'm like, "Cool. What the fuck is this town here?"
Yeah. I didn't when I first got out there, I was like, trying to hit up some stand-up places or whatever. And they would have these people that were on before me, and I was just coming in, so they didn't know who the fuck I was. And I was just like, yeah, I'll go in the other way for a little bit and try to do that kind of shit. And then I would see them like these people go up before me, and they had these fucking credits, man, just TV, like commercial TV, fucking MTV, fucking on, really good shows on HBO. And then they would go up and do stand-up and fucking tank. And I would be like, what the fuck? Bizarro. Why are they getting more time than me? And why do they have whatever? Because they're all actors.
Yep.
Every single fucking one of them. And I'm
Comedy's
like,
weird in LA.
it's so, I had a friend who I hadn't seen who started in the Philly scene. And it was the first time I'd gone to the Comedy Store, and I ran into him there. And he was like, holy shit, I didn't know you were out here. And I was like, oh my God, me neither. I'm like, how you doing? He had a wife and a kid. And, it's me, him, Al Madrigal, and a couple other people. And he goes, how long you been out here? And I was like, dude, like a week and a half. And he just goes, you bombing? And I go, yeah, man, fucking like everywhere. And I was like doing hostels at the time and like weird places. And he was like, just wait until you get into the clubs, man. He's like, I did the same fucking thing. It's a weird vibe. Everyone reads from a journal, and they're like, how come this awkward
Weird.
scenario I was in isn't getting laughs? And I'm like, because no one gives a fuck. And you didn't write anything. It was nuts.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it was really weird.
What made you want to come back to New York?
Oh,
This is also my podcast now.
that was the greatest.
You
Suddenly
just took it over like I am the captain now.
Yeah, exactly. Suddenly I'm fucking Tom Hanks on that ship. I'm like, oh God, fuck. Is it getting hot in here? A couple things maybe want to come back, but I think primarily is I was flying back and forth anyway because there's no, I went out there initially because I was like, I had a bunch of network meetings that I was going to go out there for, and then I was like, why don't I just fucking move out there? Would not be a bad idea. I can live out there. We'll figure it out as we go along. And then the network meetings kind of stopped, and I was like doing stand up or whatever for a little bit, and then I was like, well, now I got to go back east because I can book dates out there, and I can go to New York and Connecticut and fucking Pennsylvania and Virginia and hit all that up. But then I would go fly back and forth, where I would do that kind of shit, do a bunch of gigs, get the money I needed to get to live, go back out to LA, have more meetings, spend all the money I made doing stand-up, trying to fucking eat and pay rent, and then fly back. Because there were some gigs, but not enough. Yeah.
Where were you living out there?
Studio City, fucking Studio City, Universal City,
Whoa.
San Clemente.
Okay.
And then finally,
Under
Downey.
the pier.
Yeah, under the
Wait.
did sleep in my car for a bit. I moved in with a mutual friend of ours that we no longer talk to anymore. No, you don't know that? I thought you did.
Now
yeah.
Go ahead.
I could say the name, but I'd rather not right now. This is the first time this is the first time ever. I've always said names. Because you know what's funny? I've been thinking about it recently, and I feel like the story doesn't make, like, why we don't actually talk doesn't make much sense. But we had gone to live out there together, and we had two completely different concepts. It's Maria. We had two completely different concepts of what we wanted, like, because we did live together for a while, and then we would go to check out apartments. And for me, I'm a comic, so I don't really give a fuck where we live as long as it's cheap. I can afford it and whatever. And like, we would go to look at places, and she would literally be like, I don't really like the cabinets in here. And I would be like, I wanted to be like, we're poor. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care about the structure of the cabinets. And after a couple folds of that were going on, we had found like one place we put a security deposit down on, and then she wound up bailing and living with her friends. And then the person who I went to get the security deposit back, and then she said that she took it, and then we wound up not talking anymore. But here's the thing. I actually feel like we got into an argument too, but I actually feel like us not speaking, I really wish I would have cleared up what happened with the security deposit, because I highly doubt she took it. And I feel like the woman in the apartment complex was probably like 100%. But at the time, we were both so angry, and neither one of us spoke to each other. And we were both alone out there, essentially. So I walked away from that going like, wow, I can't believe she fucking took the money. And so we just never spoke. And that was the end of that. But aside from that, it was very much like, I'm going back and forth all the time. This is kind of stressful. And I need to make more money back out there. But I'll tell you one thing, leaving for 2 years, getting those network gigs and making those connections and almost having a couple things actually picked up, coming back to New York was a whole different experience, because it's just, you have that kind of wait where you're like, oh, he's been out in LA. Because I did get past at the Comedy Store. I got past at the Ice House. I got past at the other comedy clubs that were out there. And, you just build up your name a little bit, and then you come back east, and then it's a little bit different. So it was good.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It was hard. I mean, I was wildly depressed because I was sleeping in a fucking air mattress with no air conditioning. And
you should have taken the air from the mattress.
Oh, it took itself. Can I tell you, there's nothing sadder than sleeping in a shitty, like, tiny little room with an air mattress that just, you wake up and you're just sunk in. I was on the floor every night.
You're like, city of dreams.
Yeah. It's crazy though. That was another thing too, though, because Angela was out there, and we would literally commiserate all the time, because she was in a bad situation, and then I was in my own situation, and neither one of us could afford to leave those particular situations and live together. And it was just like, this is, but we were also like, part of it was also kind of having a blast, I guess.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do?
Yeah.
We would laugh and spend money that we didn't have on like expensive sushi or Thai. Like, we would literally be like, I'm miserable. You're miserable. I'm either going to swan dive off that fucking tower, or sake and sushi we can't afford on some credit cards.
And I think that's like, money is obviously tight, especially like when you're an artist and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Artists. We are artists. We
are. Absolutely.
And it's one of those things where it's like, there's no reason to, the money, people who budget and people who like are strict with money, it's very important to understand like what you have coming in, what you have coming out. That's responsible. With that said, with what we do, gigs come and go so much. It's like, it is a constant state of like, you could be depressed, or you could be like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm trying my hardest and doing this. So like, I feel like it's very important, if you are an artist, to be responsible, but you need to treat yourself and do that stuff, because it gives you a slice of life where you're just like, it's going to be okay. And everything is going to be good.
100%. I literally just told whoever the hell we had on last. We had a guy on last night. I literally just forgot who we had on like a night before.
Amazing.
I'm such a piece of shit. No, his name is Michael Christopher, and we were talking to him about some stuff. And I was like, because when I got out there too, I hadn't had like a real job in God knows how long, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't need one. I worked my way through stand up to not have that. But when I got out to LA, I was like, fuck, I should probably get something, which is so weird too, because when people, it's hard to explain away when somebody looks at your resume and they're just like, there's this working gap from like, kind of after like you graduate high school to just doing stand up and making money. And they're like, huh, okay. So you worked in retail and then you disappeared for 10 years, you know.
You're like witness protection.
Yeah, exactly. And like, there's a huge gap here. But I worked at this one job and then it, you know, obviously didn't go well. And then they were like, you gotta, and I was like, no, I know. And then I left, and immediately with like the last few whatever bucks I had, I went to Melrose, found a leather jacket that I liked, and bought it.
Is that the one that you wear on stage now?
Yes, it is.
That's it. So LA is always with you, baby.
Yeah, that's a good. Wow, that was sweet.
That's your fur coat. That's your mink. That's your.
It's it's armor. It really is. A nice jacket for performers is absolutely armor. It's the one you fucking sleep in, you know, and like do shit in. And it's seen some shit. So, but that's a crazy thing too. Like you went to college and everything, but you like, I remember you left for New York almost immediately. Was that a hard decision to make for you, or were you always like, no, beeline, this is what I want?
It was always an idea to leave. I graduated high school, went 1 year community college at Ocean County College in Toms River, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Go Sadness. Is that the mascot?
That's the mascot. Yeah.
The mascot of Sadness.
It's the Zolof's guy's cousin.
And while I was there, I was like, I want to audition for school. So I auditioned for like an acting conservatory, and I got in, and I was 18.
Do you remember the piece you did to do it, to get in?
I did 2 monologues from like a monologue book, because I was just like, I don't know like monologues, stuff like that, because unfortunately our arts programs and stuff in Toms River are so bad that like we do like 1 musical a year at the school I went to, at least our whole high school. And like it was great, it was like the best time, but it was like months of like leading up, instead of doing like multiple things and like taking like the arts seriously and like art history and stuff that I'm so interested in now. I'm just like, why did we not learn this and how to balance a checkbook in high school?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, our arts program. Let me tell you something about how shitty our arts program is. My guidance counselor was, first of all, just erratically a mess, 100%. Her name is D'Agostino. I don't even fucking care if I'm dropping her name right now. This woman was
stop. She watches.
This woman was a clusterfuck of a human being. I would go to her. She would like try to like do whatever, and I would literally walk over to another guidance counselor and be like, can we just switch? I know my fucking last name doesn't cover the bracket, but you know what I mean? Because they would do it alphabetically.
It was so weird.
It was weird.
So weird.
So, but her son was a musician. And she'd be like, oh, my son's really struggling. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't fucking care. Like, you would think she would have just been like, hey, you know what? There's a college you can go to. Because I was interested in comedy and writing and doing all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. But Emerson, I found out long after the fact that Emerson University has a comedy writing degree that you can get. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Wow. Because you would have thought that she would have been like, hey, you know, you're not going to do well in math. But she was also just like, have you ever thought of pumping gas? And I'm like, aren't you supposed to lift me?
I heard they give away free donuts if you do it at the station over there.
And the funny thing is I didn't
these 2 fat kids come in and they hang out with you.
They pretty much do your job for you for donuts.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, wow, that sounds pretty great. Yeah. And I wasn't like a bad student either. I was in good classes and shit. And it was just like, but she was just like, you're not going to make it.
I think that's also like why I wanted to leave, because the second I left, and I always loved coming to the city and stuff when I was younger.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wanted to, you know, did musical theater, and I got really into comedy, and I loved comedy growing up. And then the second I got to school, I was just like, yeah, this is where I want to be. And I love New York. I want to be in New York forever. I always like wanted to try LA, and like, you know, my dream is to one day get a job or have something that I could have like a studio out there and just be like, yeah, we can go out there for a few weeks and then come back. Like, that's like my dream in life. But it's one of those things where it's like I couldn't live in Toms River, New Jersey for the rest of my life. And all the Toms River people watching, guys, Toms River is fine. It's great. I'm not talking shit. It's just like,
I'll do it for you. Tom's River.
hard line right now.
Yeah, let me fucking tell you something about this town. It's not the same way. It's people always say it, but it's not the same town we grew up in anyway.
No, it's definitely not the same town we grew up in, but also it's like I'll call my mom and it'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" She'd be like, "Nothing. Do you know that they're building a new Target?" And I'm like, "All right, then that's it. The news. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
Huge.
I know it is very hometowny and very short. It's one of those places that I totally understand the feeling of leaving when people who haven't left don't understand what it's like to go anywhere else or what it's like to leave. And I remember going back and seeing a truck outside the IHOP my friends and I used to go to with a Confederate flag flying from the back, and I just went, "All right, I'm home."
Oh, I forgot. We're in the South, Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like South, Jersey.
Dude, every fucking bar out there plays country music and has line destings, and I wanted to be like, I live on the shore.
Yeah,
I live in,
There is like, it is. The way that Tom's River is broken up, it's like the downtown area is like young, kind of like up and coming, like bars and pubs, and then you go to like the west side of town, and then it's just like fucking like lifted truck, fucking Confederate flags, and then you go over the bridge, and it's just like fucking like like Guidos and fucking assholes. Like, it's like, look, I'll tell you what. New York City is a melting pot of people.
Yeah.
Tom's River is a melting pot of the worst people in the world.
Tom's River is definitely the Florida of New Jersey. If you're gonna really put it in perspective.
Basically, that's essentially what it is.
That's saying a lot.
It is
Florida of New Jersey.
Yeah. It's the DeSantis of
of
people.
You see me yell at those kids?
I did. That's fucking wild, dude.
Very cool.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And also, like, come on, somewhat it had to be the most staged fucking thing. Because they weren't even like, the fuck is this guy's problem? Someone like, I guess the two of us will take our masks off. And then there was those two other clueless kids that are like, what's going on?
Yeah. Wait, I was told to stand here.
Yeah. It's definitely like high school principal erectile dysfunction energy. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
that guy's having problems.
Exactly what it is. Oh yeah. And
that
dude absolutely had COVID. He absolutely had COVID when he disappeared for like a month, and then he came back and he was like, we're gonna sign this bill. I'm just like, that guy's sick. He's sick. The man is sick.
I know. It's like when you're breathing, like in the same way when you accidentally swallow a kernel of popcorn. That's not, you know what I mean? When it makes that sound because it's coming through.
That dude made Darth Vader look like a marathon runner.
Fucking horrible, man. But that was so you got out to, because I know you were doing some stand up for a little bit, but I don't know at what point, because I know you didn't start right away, right?
No, I went to school. I studied acting, and then within that, I studied stand up. I did a little bit of stand up with Rick Crum
at the American something
at
the American
the
Comedy Company.
No, it was the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts, the American Comedy Company.
No. But I thought you did a separate comedy class. You did it within the New York.
Oh no, I was at UCB.
That's right.
I was at UCB for from like
that's
2013 to when it closed in 2020. I was there for like 7-8 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that was like the best time because that's where I really kind of found my comedy footing of like improv. Like I love improv, but like I was more like the second I found out about sketch, not found out, I knew about sketch, but I was like, whoa, they offer sketch and then character writing and character development and stuff like that. That's when I really kind of started to really dig my heels and just like, this is what I want to do. And then my goal was to get on the house team there, and I did. And then my goal was to have a show that ran, and I did with Toxic. Yeah. And then I ended with like, there was a sketch night called Maud Night. And that was the last thing I did before it closed. It was super fun. It took a while to get there, but it was super fun. I was, it was the best time. It was like I was in a writer's room. I was there pitching characters and jokes, and like I feel like it was such a good lens to like what the industry of like late night and sketch comedy is, and it's so important. And I feel like that should be offered. It's offered a lot in New York, but like it should be offered even like beyond that. Like you should be learning like improv like in high school. Like
absolutely
some high schools do have it in Tom's River. Yeah, like fucking Vinny Bonaducci. I don't know. Yeah, he's like walk on. What's your intention? Like fucking. It's just like always say yes, yes, and yes, and fuck you. Like that would be like the New Jersey Improv.
If I ever asked you to deliver a brown bag to an unknown address, yes, and
yes, and I push my mother down the stairs.
Throw mama from the train, real life story. That is great. That should have been the thing you read to get into that school. You should just tell people that. If you don't remember, don't tell them you read from an acting book. Just be like, I did a scene from Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah, I play Mama. Owen. Tell me you've seen that fucking
That was
movie.
such a good mama.
Thank you.
That was
That's
good,
really
man.
my one impression.
You should go in an audition with that.
I'll just throw it up on TikTok, send it in. It'll be great.
You should go to whatever audition you have next for like a commercial audition or something. You should be like, "Hi, yeah, I know we're here to sell Kleenex, but I'd rather do a performance of Throw Mama from the Train," and just go right into it. And then if they ask why you're doing that, you say, "Well, it was a choice."
I'm really, really moved by her performance. I don't even remember her name. She was great, though. I think I said was, like she's dead. I have no fucking idea if she's still alive. She could be. If she made it out. Yeah. Oh, my fucking God, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, so that's your timeline, basically. You did that. You started dabbling in comedy a little bit. I remember coming to one of your gigs.
Well, funny enough, I mean, I went to school. I was studying at UCB, but like this is true. So when I was in school, I was having a great time. I really I took it very seriously because I love acting.
Mm-hmm.
And my second year at the conservatory, I had a teacher who did something you shouldn't do, but essentially she was just like, well, two things were said to me. One, a teacher looked at me and went, "Ugh, you were going to work so much in 10 years." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, I don't work now. I'm young and bright." And she was like, "No, 10 years." And I was like, "Fuck."
Right.
And then the second time was a teacher looked at me and she walked around the room. She went, in life, people are going to typecast you and and it's not fun, but like I'm going to typecast you right now as if like what I see in you. And she like walked to this guy and she was just like, "You're very handsome, you're tall, you're leading man qualities, you have like chiseled good looks." Goes to another girl, she's just like, "You're so cute and quirky, you're like a quirky best friend." And then she looks at me and she goes, "Cop." And it kept going. And I was like, "What the fuck? No." So you mean to tell me that I'm not gonna play I'm only gonna play cops and in 10 years? I was like, "God damn." And then guess what? I did. I couldn't get an audition for fucking like 2 or 3 years, and I'm like, "What's wrong with me?" I'm like, and that's like why I started taking more classes like UCB and stuff, because like I'm like, well, I'm not getting called in for anything. All my friends were, and I was like getting really depressed.
Yeah.
And now it's like now I'm going for dads, cops, and uncles. Basically.
Yeah. And it works though too. So like sometimes I'll see in a commercial doing something kind of like that, and I want to be like, I want Ken to be my dad.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
I could pick you up.
You could. I think you have. Let's be honest.
I definitely have.
You've done it before. There's the other thing, we did a show together too. That was another thing too. Do you remember that? We did a charity for Rowan University for Sandy.
We did.
And that was a lot of fun.
That was super fun. I think I hosted.
We did a couple shows together.
We did a show. I did a show at a restaurant where you headlined.
Yeah.
And we did humble brag. Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff. That's when I was like kind of dabbling a little bit in stand up, and then and then at that point I was just like, I think I'm done with not done with stand up, because I'm always just like, damn, I should get back into this. I have so many ideas. But it's one of those things where it's like I respect stand ups so much, and it's like, if you're not in the clubs every night, I feel like you're doing it a disservice, and you shouldn't be.
Right.
There's too many people who are just like, yeah, I do stand up, and I'm just like, do you?
The cop thing though too, that's kind of interesting when people tell you what they think they're going to be, what you think you're going to be or whatever, and like when they go from room to room, do you feel like that gets in your head too? Did that get in your head for a while?
No, well, not it did, but then I kind of started embracing everything I started auditioning for, and I very much, when I stopped playing by the rules and I started kind of playing by how I wanted to do it, that's when I started having more fun and leaving more of like a lasting impression and getting callbacks and booking in the room, because like they said, like there's a famous thing where it's like when you walk into a room, like ground yourself and become like one with the room, and like and be like, oh, like, hey, how you doing? Oh, how are you? Like, oh, hello, how are you doing today? How's your day? Very good. Whoa, purple floor, very cool. Like, like say
Yeah.
shit like that, where it's like to make yourself like known in the room. And I was doing that. I'm like, this isn't working. So like
Right.
now when I walk in the room, like, and I tell people this, if people are like ask me like auditioning for commercials, it's like when I walk in, I'm just like, "What's up?" Like I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on?" Like I'm very like I'm. They want to see the person. They don't want to see an actor. They want to see the person they're gonna hire and make sure that like you are just like a cool person who you wants to work and like is cool to work with. Like
Yep.
there's a lot of asshole people out there who book jobs and stuff like that. But like when you get on set, the best thing you can do and what I try to make sure is like say hi to everybody and like
Yeah.
talk to people and just like talk to the camera crew and like the guys like holding the rigs all day and just like get their story because like that's like the lasting impression that you want to leave on people where they're like, yeah, we really like that guy, because he came in for one day, but like he like we feel like we know him like for
Yeah.
forever now. So
Yeah.
I think that's important when it comes to like auditioning in the business and stuff.
It is. And that's the only
And-
time I've ever gotten callbacks is when I let go of the idea of, because it is fucked up because they're like, fuck, I don't know if they want me. And then you look at everybody else in the room and you're like, they're probably going to get them. And then you go in with this weird mindset of like, I'm going to be what I think they want. And it's never, ever works.
So I actually during the pandemic I booked very small. You can't see my face. You can kind of see me. It was like an extra, not an extra, but like there was 3 roles for a CVS commercial, and I was auditioning for just like the cashier, and literally the cashier just had to go like, boop. I think I can tell the story. I think it's fine. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's fine. It was fine. Yeah, it's good. Sorry, I just had a stroke.
Internal
I just had a
dialogue.
stroke. Oh my god, yeah, that was
We're going
internal.
behind the scenes with
Yeah.
Ken McGraw right now.
Yeah, this is my being John Malkovich moment. So I did the audition. It was fine. It was good.
Yeah.
And then for the callback, like they came out and they said to a bunch of people, it was like me and like 4 other dudes, and there was like everyone was wearing like a CVS like red polo, and like I wasn't wearing that. And I'm like, whatever, who cares? It's an outfit. And they were like, hey, just so you know, like when they ask you to slate, you're gonna say your name, where you're from, agency, and we also need to see the top of your head because like it's gonna be an overhead shot. And me, I actually not job. I've actually been regrowing my hair because I had a bald spot because I've been using Keeps and it's working.
Nice. Hey,
but-
shout out to Keeps.
Yeah, shout out to Keeps. It's not a sponsor yet, but your product works. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, well, this is gonna tank me. Like, they're not gonna want to hire me because I have a bald spot. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna call their bluff right now. So I got into the room, and they're like, "Hi, Ken." I'm like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going, everybody? Cool." Like the CVS like people were there and stuff like that, and all their compute like all their screens are like black, and it's like the casting director and a few other people you can see them, and she goes, "Great, I just need you to slate like name, like Ken McGraw, agency, blah 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 blah." And she goes, "Great, can we just see the top of your head?" I went, "Sure." And I leaned my head down and I showed them for like 2 seconds, and I came back up and I looked right in the camera and I went, "Next." And I heard like CVS like go, "Oh, oh," like laughing and like mute themselves, and the cast director was like, "Oh, yo, no, Ken, no. And I was like, I went, okay, yeah, sure. I fucking booked it. I booked it.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
a
booked it.
great way.
Yeah, I was
That's
like, yeah,
fucking
I
awesome.
was like, if I'm gonna have to show my head, I'm gonna make a joke about this. I'm gonna be like, are you guys gonna hire me because I have a bald spot or no?
Beautiful.
Good.
Yeah. That's a great story, man. That's a good example of going in confidently and being like, I know me, I know myself. I'm just gonna go and have the best time I possibly can.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's once you put on a character. You put on a character, but like primarily it's like you are doing the work. You are the one memorizing the lines, and it's like, if it's a TV show or something like that, obviously you put more work in. You put as much work in as you always do, but it depends on what the character calls for. A majority of the time with like commercials, just go have fun. Like that's it. Like you're selling a product. Like that's the main thing. Unless it's like something that makes you shit. Like where it's like it has to be very serious. What is it? What makes you shit? Like Truvia,
Lactate?
Laxative or something.
Lactate?
like Travago. That's
Travago.
travel.
We're getting all the sponsors on this show. And they're all Kens.
Yeah, it's all stuff I've done.
Oh my god, I remember the typecasting thing. You ever typecast yourself? Because I remember being like,
Yeah.
me and my friends, we're all going out. Actually, I guess it's not typecasting yourself because they kind of did it for me. We're all hanging out. We're all super young. It's when we used to go out to the movies in groups of like fucking 16. Your parents drop you off. You all meet there. I don't remember the name of this.
Everyone fights at the movies.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Everyone get like exactly, and you're like walking past some kids like beating each other up, and the cop like trying to hold them by the neck. So, but we were going. I remember the name of the movie, but it was like a Kirsten Dunst film. The one actor Ben Foster's in it. Don't know the name of it, but I remember Martin Short's in it. Right. So anyway, it's me and my friends, and at the time, not my best look at the time. Probably a little acne, little braces going on. Right, round glasses. So I'm sitting in the theater, and all my friends are hot. And they're all the girls, whatever, and they're like doing that thing where they're watching a movie and they're picking out characters, who they are, and it's like so and so is the hot kid, she's a girl, she's dating that guy, whatever. 25 minutes in, Martin Short walks on screen, completely over the top, and they're like, John, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so I'm not getting my dick sucked out of the movie. Was that what's going on? And then I was like, oh, okay, that's the guy that everybody. That's fine. And I was like, I love Martin Short. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
And you're like, yep, that is me.
Exactly. I literally couldn't deny it. I was like, hey, he's getting laughs. I don't know what to tell you guys. I can see you in 10 years, but
at the next Tom's River reunion that you're absolutely going to go to, you should seek out those people and just say, it's me, I am Martin Short, like, just like go into it. It's like
kick the doors in.
Very much.
Great. Yeah, purple suit. I'm with Selena Gomez for no reason. Everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? It's a lookalike.
I'm in a show with her.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Did you go to do you have your reunion yet?
I didn't go.
I didn't go to mine either.
No, I didn't go because I didn't care.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go just because I was like, I see all these people on like social media, and I'm like, I don't need to go and like have a beer with you. Like, it's nice. It'd be nice if I see somebody out, like if I'm ever home, like I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you? Like, catch up. But like,
and the thing is, you kind of do.
Fine. Yeah.
How many times do we run into each other at Hooks randomly? Like, I didn't even have to call you to see what you were doing because I'd be like,
oh my god, John's gonna be out at Hooks. I know.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's gone. But unfortunately, yeah, when I came back home, I used to go. Yeah, man, it fucking didn't survive the pandemic.
No.
Can you believe it? That thing fucking survived like, well, it was a boat, but that thing survived. I just caught myself. I was like, it didn't survive floodwaters, but yeah, it didn't survive the pandemic. They fucking closed.
Damn.
That was the best place.
That place ruled.
Yeah.
That was the only place where you could see like dudes fight over ping pong and like stationary basketball.
There's one of the last times, because I'm going through these old photos. I have some photos of us at Hooks together, and I am fucking plastered.
Oh yeah,
dude.
every time I've seen you, I had to like text you and be like, "Hey man, so good seeing you last night." You're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I was there. I hung out. I bought you a drink." Like,
texting me a photo of us. I'm like, it's me and you,
dude. You gotta eat some bread before you go out.
I know. It's a real problem.
Dude,
but
get some fucking fried dough in your gullet. It's everywhere at the shore.
I know. I used to just fucking peace out and then go down and get pizza somewhere. By the way, for people who don't know who are watching, Hooks is a great bar in Seaside Heights that was literally, it was Captain Hooks, and it was looked like a boat on the outside, and on the inside it was just, ping pong and fucking beer pong and
the wildest thing about that fucking bar was when you walked in, it was like the bar was right there, and then like it expanded open, but like it had this whole gaming area and stuff like that. But like, I don't know who planned this bar, but whoever put darts right next to the door when you walked in was like, who's planning this? Where it's like you walk in, you're like, some drunk asshole singing Bruce throwing darts at your fucking head.
Yeah, that was the worst fucking place. And you're like, yeah, it was a nightmare.
It was so much fun.
Like, all right, Hawkeye, fucking calm down. Jesus Christ. We get it. You're good at darts. Like, and that was the funny thing too, is because everybody had an area they would go to where they were trying to impress somebody that they were as a date. And I'm like, you're not going to impress a woman playing shuffleboard, guy. Relax. Can
I buy you a drink and then maybe play some skee ball? It's like, the fuck away from me, Gino.
Gino. Oh fuck. So before we're not gonna wrap up yet. Who am I kidding? But toxic masculinity. Tell me a little bit about that. It's you and your buddy Doug.
Yes. So it's
You
me and my
guys
buddy.
met at what, UCB?
Yeah, so we met at UCB years ago, and funny enough, the way we met was there was this comedy festival at UCB used to run called the Del Close Marathon, and it was like
Oh yeah.
a 72-hour nonstop improv marathon, and it went nonstop for like 3 straight days, and
Mhm.
every night there was like a big party at this like party space area, and a girl one year, it was like 2016, walks up to me and was talking to me and was like, "Oh, just chatting." I'm like, "Yeah, what about?" And then she goes, "Wait, you're not Douglas Wydick?" And I go, "No." And she goes, "Sorry," and walked away. And I was like, so I knew Doug just kind of like through the comedy. I reached out to him on Facebook, and I was like, I wrote on his Facebook wall, and I was like, somebody thought I was you for 15 minutes last night and talked to me, and then proceeded to walk away when they found out I was not you. And then he was like, "My paisan, my brother." And then we were just friends. And Doug is a very talented like musician, and
Mhm.
he has a hip hop improv comedy team called North Coast, and
Oh, nice.
he's like really good with like music and instruments. And we were looking for a project to do, and I approached him with the idea of Toxic, and I said, "Hey, the show is I pitched him the show. I said 2 fuckboys get their comeuppance." uh and he was just like, "Great, let's do it." And we started writing in like a cafe. And then from the time that we started writing that day
Mhm.
to the day we performed, it was literally exactly 1 year.
Wow.
Exactly. And
Wow.
then we got a run at UCB. And normally UCB runs are like 6 months. And approaching our 6 month mark, uh, we kind of approached the theater and we're like, it was a half-hour show. And we were like, "Can we do an hour?" And he was like, and the artistic director at the time, Michael Hartney, who's extremely talented, very funny, he was like, if the second half hour is as good as the first one, yes. So we tried out the hour,
Wow.
and he was like, "Yeah, you can continue the show." And we did the show for like 10 months basically. So we finished in December of 2020, and at that time we were doing shows around the city.
Mhm.
And we took to LA for a week, and we got a really nice reception out there.
Nice.
And we were gearing up for like an off Broadway run. We were talking to a lot of like producers and like stuff like that, and trying to get like investors. And we had a big show planned for at 54 Below, which is like this big like it's below 54 Below,
Yeah.
Studio 54
Yeah.
in the city, and it's like a Broadway cabaret theater. And we were gonna have like an all-female band, like a rock band. And
Nice.
we like wrote them a song, and like we extended the show. We wrote more songs, and that was gonna happen on March 27th of 2020.
Mhm.
And something happened. Um,
What?
the world, the world happened, John.
Right.
So we wound up having to put a little cap on it for a time being. And we did a couple shows since the pandemic has still been going on, like when theaters reopened. But we're just kind of waiting to feel it out and see when
Nice.
would be the most appropriate time to start bringing it back and stuff like that.
Oh, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you guys bring it back soon, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's exciting. Have you seen it?
I only seen clips of it. I never, that's one of the suckiest things about performing and having friends who perform, is that you rarely get to go out to see each other do shit because you're working.
I see all my friends' stuff.
Fair enough.
I love it. Yeah, it's like I've watched 137 of your episodes, John.
I'm only joking, John. John, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to finally be a part of it.
He's like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I make time. I carve it out. No, you're right. I should probably do more of that. But it is like, isn't that weird? Where you're like, "Oh, I want to go see my friend's band," and then you're like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we're playing on the weekend." And it's like, "Well, so am I guess."
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, but
It's hard when when
I
you're
will
doing.
come now, though.
It's hard when you're doing like the kind of, not to say the same thing, but like
Yeah.
shows happen at night. You work at nights primarily. Like there's not many matinee stand-up shows. Where you're
Nope.
like, yeah,
God willing.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm doing the early bird at fucking
Right.
like that would be a
Chuck
good,
E.
that
Cheese.
actually would be a pretty good club idea though. Like, do you like
It
an
would be
early
kind of
bird?
funny. You know what? It's I've done a few of those, and they're called college gigs.
Oh,
And
that
for
makes
whatever,
sense.
there was like, I swear to God, man, there were some college gigs where you were just like, I remember the first one I did, I opened for somebody else, and it was a lot of fun. It was this college in Pennsylvania, which no one's ever said out loud. A lot of fun, college in Pennsylvania. So I don't know why I'm just like trashing other places. I'm like, but it was a lot of fun, and they had a theater, they had a legitimate thing. Kids came in, they were fucking great audience, nice space. And I remember getting in the car, and the guy goes to me, "Yeah, don't get used to that because we're doing University of Connecticut next week, and it's in the middle of the day, and it's gonna suck." And I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And we get to University of Connecticut, and it's literally like in the middle of the hallway that they like. There was just like this little
Great.
area, little area where like people were like, I guess like an area to just chill out in, congregate in. They carved a space out for us. They put like a panel thing for us to stand on, and you're literally doing your act, and it's like. Kids are walking through, and you're like,
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm late for physics. There's a fucking stand-up show going on.
this fucking dropout's got to tell his dick jokes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
You're like, I'm short. Are you? Oh, sorry. Like you're getting hit by fucking backpacks.
way to just give away my opener, you piece of shit.
Hey, I actually will say this right now because it'll save me time later from texting you saying, "Hey man, sorry I said you were short." Like I'm sorry.
Trust me, they all know. They know 100%. It is kind of funny. I the weird thing is people get angry with me when like they'll be like, I had a woman come up to me after a show and she
Don't
was like,
get short with me.
Yeah. That's what I should say from now on. Bam. But she was like, you're a lot taller on your Instagram. And I was like, I don't do that. It's not a filter, you fuck.
What?
Like, that's your problem. I don't know. Like, what do I have to just, every time I take a photo, use scale?
What's the filter called? Knees?
I'm like, yeah, I only do it from like the waist. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that means, but I've had literally people be like, yeah, you present yourself as a lot taller. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Is that an issue? It's like, yeah. Hey, listen. I took you more seriously online, and now I can't.
Yeah.
It's like you're catfishing people.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, right? Like I didn't fucking tell you that, and also you're next to your husband, you drunk. You know what I mean? Like what? Like were you planning on doing anything if I was a little sick? Something like you were gonna leave him, or he was gonna watch? What was your plan?
I tell my girlfriend all the time. I tell everyone all the time. My life would change if I was 6 foot.
Yeah,
if I
of
was
course.
6 foot, my life would be completely different.
What would you do if you were 6 foot?
Fucking clean shelves. No, I would just
Reach things for no reason. Spin a fan.
That's the thing. Like right now, I look kind of like if I was 6 foot, my exact same weight and demeanor and stuff, I would look like an old timey strong man, probably.
Yeah, yeah. Like a circus guy.
Like right now, I look like one of those like big butt belly bodybuilders who like screams like just fucking covered in chalk, just fucking.
I've seen your gym videos back in the day, man. You're not wrong,
dude. Thank you, thanks.
You can lift though. You can fucking lift, man.
I actually, this is fucking. I'm trying to get back on like a regime because if I want to feel good, lose some weight. The pandemic has been hard on everyone, so I want to start. I like legit was like I'm ready to go back to the gym. I'm ready to just like kind of like do it. And I fucking like basically sprained my ankle last week. I fucking hit like uneven concrete in the city of all places, and but because, and this is where comedy training comes in, because I'm always on, I fucking hit and I prat fell and did 3 somersaults over myself and popped up like ta-da, and like I'm like like lipping till like a woman's like like yelling because she just saw me eat shit, roll, jump up like I'm about to lift her up now. And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, this is the most New York thing. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I think so. I'm not sure. And then one woman just kept walking opposite direction. She went, "You got to sue," and kept going. And I was just like, "Thank you, Angel."
Yeah, my guardian angel.
So I'm waiting to heal this up like a few more days, and then I'm gonna be back to the gym, and I'll send you a video of me screaming.
Yeah, please. That's all I want, honestly. I forgot. Yeah, we used to post those videos, man, and sometimes you'd be like,
I used to work at Equinox. That's why.
That's and right. Yeah.
I used to work at Equinox because I wanted to have a free gym membership.
Smart.
And it worked because if you're in like a very cool, good place to work out, you're more inspired to like want to like work harder and stuff and like use the amenities. So I was like, I go to the gym for like 3 hours. I'd like work out, like hang out, get like an eucalyptus towel, go to the steam room, fucking put on all the lotion, shower, and I was like, the fuck? I'm like, it's 8:30 at night now. I'm like, I've been here since 3. What am I doing?
Right, but you basically lived at the gym then, and that's not bad.
No, it was a fun time.
Yeah, that's not bad, man.
Yeah.
Tom is 6 what? What are you? 6'2", 6'3"? Normally I exaggerate,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to get it
6'4".
right.
No, I'm actually
6'4".
6'4".
You're 6'4"?
Oh, you're 6'4".
Yeah.
I
I'm a
feel like
big dude.
Tom's your dream height.
No, if I was 6'4", I'd be fucking gorgeous.
I really, you do.
Thank you.
You do know I'm going to edit it so it just cuts off at fucking, right? If I was 6'4", man, I'd be.
Yeah, I'd be fucking Dystopia tonight.
Your mom's just like, what the?
What the fuck? Tom, how is it being 6'4"? Do you feel it?
You know what? It's not as good. I have the opposite problem. So like whenever
Right.
you're someplace, everybody knows you're there. You can never like walk through a crowd without everybody being like, but like spotting you right away. I don't feel my height until you see me in pictures and I look like a wrestler. So like I'll be standing there with people and it's everybody's up to my nipples.
So why did you not become a wrestler? Is my question.
You know what? That's a good question. That is a good question.
I feel like you'd be a good wrestler.
Yeah, I think I'd be. Yeah, I would
You-
definitely
you have
wouldn't be a heel.
You have a great personality. You had a nice smile.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, you're going places, kid.
In 10 years,
In 10 years, you wrestler. God,
wrestler.
I wish you said that to me. I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been nice. I love how you went from actor to agent in like 2 seconds. It was
Hey,
like,
man,
baby,
listen,
let me tell you.
it's all about wearing hats, baby.
The Tom Poston of this era. Oh, fucking amazing, man. Yeah, Tom and I met here in these boxes.
On Twitch.
Just like
on
this.
Twitch. We met on Twitch. We met on an OnlyFans site called Animals.
I donate to him, he donated to me, and they kept going back and forth. I saw his
And we were like,
feet.
Yeah. I was
Kept
like, I'm
poking
just
each
trying to
other.
support. Yeah. But I didn't know. I saw a photo of it. I didn't know you. I really thought Tom was like not an ent. You know what I mean? Like just like a normal, but then I saw a photo of him, I think when I followed you on Instagram, and you were just towering over everybody in this photograph, and it blew me the fuck away.
It's crazy.
It was alarming.
You guys, we could do a live stage reading of Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I'm totally down to be Andre.
With Ken and I, and that'd be it. Everybody our height. Oh my god. Who's your buddy from Scotland who's an actor who's about the
Craig.
same height? We all have
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
all
you
around
guys
the
are
same
the same
height. Yeah, that'd be
No,
fucking
I'm
amazing.
5'8". You fucking.
Oh, you're
freak.
5'8".
Relax.
Yeah, you're right. You're taller than me. Yeah, that's upsetting. I always forget that you're taller than me.
Yeah, man. No, I would look. I'm short, but I'm not John Short.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that is the
Hey,
fucking truth.
But like a lot of screen actors are fucking short. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cruise.
Tom Cruise
is
hides
famous
it.
one.
Yeah. Dustin Hoffman.
Stallone.
Who did I see? I saw someone recently, and I was like, whoa, they're short. Who was it?
Nicolas Cage.
No, I thought I saw
He's not
someone
short, is
recently.
he?
I think so.
Nicolas Cage, I think, is pretty short.
Really? Fuck. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Paul Rudd is tall. Not tall. He's like 6. but
Paul
he's
Rudd
like-
is tall. Fallon's fucking tall, and I never
Fallon's
think of him as tall.
Fallon is tall.
Yeah.
Conan is tall.
Conan is a fucking giant.
Conan is a giant.
Yeah.
He's so good. I know that Fallon is tall because you took a photo with him at Bananas.
Yeah.
Wow,
When
isn't that sick? I remember that.
Yeah, that is. I remember. Yeah.
The brain
That
of
was
a-
good.
Brain of an elephant, my guy.
Yeah. It's
No
that
problem.
was crazy. When I did not. I mean, people like came up to me and they were just like, I cannot believe he's that fuck. They're like, is he really tall or are you really short? And I'm like, a little bit of both. He's alarmingly tall. Because I didn't picture that either. But yeah, him and somebody else too who you wouldn't think is particularly tall is actually a fucking giant. God, who the hell? Gilbert. No, I'm just kidding. He's really short.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, what?
Because Gilbert is 8 foot.
Oh,
No.
Pete Holmes is huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pete Holmes is a giant. Yeah, him I met. He's fucking gigantic.
I saw him on the. I was like with him on the subway, and he like I've seen him at UCB a few times. He was really really tall. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's amazing how many of those guys are actually like just they breed that way.
I see those guys, and I'm just like, man, like I'm really short compared to like a lot of like people. I'm like, and I'm like, I was in that commercial. And I was like, I wonder if anyone's gonna be like, you're short. Like I think you'd be taller up on that roof.
I never think about it. I don't know if you do. Do you think about it?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, you do? I
All the
never
time.
think about it.
I think because you're pretty mentally stable.
Do you know where I feel like you guys have such a different life? So I noticed this when my wife is a lot shorter than me, right? So we'll go into an elevator. She's like, I hate elevators. Blah, blah, blah. So I'll be in an elevator. I'm like, what's your problem? But everybody's here. So I have plenty of air and space. Nothing bothers me. Then I would lean down to her level. Like, this is claustrophobic and trapping because everybody's shoulders are on top of you.
You take elevators?
Yeah, I squeeze in.
I'm actually usually I think like guys like you just like climb up the side of the building.
I am a bit of a gorilla.
Oh God, that's so great. I love it. I now cannot stop picturing you and your wife going up to the 3rd floor somewhere.
As I hold her like this.
Yeah.
Get on.
Yeah. She screams as a practical joke. You're like, babe, please. They're gonna start shooting.
The planes.
Yeah.
Get away from me. Except to be like drones. Be like swatting drones out of the air.
Oh my God, that's so fucking great, man.
Tom, give me your number so I can text you after the show to apologize for saying.
Oh fuck. Tom's gonna be like, Ken's gonna just apologize to her. He's like, listen, guys, just real quick, let me write my manifesto out here. It'll be good. I'm like, what is this? 3 o'clock in the morning.
When we ask him for his thoughts about being on the show, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying, I'm sorry. That was not
awesome. Well, are you excited? I mean, you're doing auditioning and stuff now too, right? So
yeah.
you're getting back out there a little bit. I mean, I don't know what it's been like as far as because you guys have been able to audition from home. I know you've been doing some of that, but you also create your own videos now too. Do you like that? Is that like
I try
freeing?
It is a little freeing. I mean, I do it primarily just to be like, I have a character idea. There's like no real like crazy character shows going on like right now. So I'm like, this is the age that we live in is so crazy because like everything has to be consumable in quick bites. TikTok is like huge. Obviously, it's like Instagram, Twitter. Like, so I feel like I'm kind of like changed my style in a way where it's like it's easy to get if I have a character in a video that gets noticed and kind of picked up and goes like viral per se, like that it's consumable and like it gets more eyes on you and like that kind of like gets your clout up in a way compared to like going through the not sounding like this John, but like for me also like going through clubs and like it's like going through clubs and getting your name out there just like for that that crowd. It's like everything is so digital now. It's such like a weird time, and it's like I don't know if I like it, and it's like because I love interactions with people.
Yeah,
and it's acting is very lonely, and so is stand up.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like it's fun to always like get on set and like I said talk to people and do stuff because this whole process, this whole pandemic has really kind of like alienated like hey, it's a self tape, and then like you're gonna just see the casting director for the callback like in a Zoom, like and it's definitely kind of changed and it's been different, and I feel like I'm getting used to it where it's like I'm starting to like bring my personality. I've been bringing like my personality and stuff into like Zooms to show like I'm still
sure.
But like self tapes and stuff are like I'll tell you what though, a lot of like castings and stuff like I was like getting from like my manager. One of them was like, "This is like what they want from you," and like I feel like now that it's like casting directors are like don't have to like kind of sit in a room all day and like set it up the way that they want and like frame it and stuff. They're kind of like giving you like full instructions, and like sometimes it's a lot. Like a self tape for like they're great could take like 2 hours to film because like the lighting they want like a solid color wall lighting.
Yep.
Certain framing they want like your pictures of your hands and you're trying to maybe do this all on your own, so it's like it takes a while and it takes a lot of energy, and then if you don't get it or if you don't like get any feedback or callback, you're just like I wasted 2 hours for what? Like,
it's the way I feel about it too, which is why I mean, we took different paths in terms of like going from stand up or just going to acting, and it's probably the same thing where you kind of know the game enough to know what you're wasting your time doing, and but still having to do some shit like that too. It's like, I got a couple auditions for my agent, to do self tapes or whatever, and I've told the story before, so I won't do it again. But I turned it down, and I didn't have any real right to. Like I should have done it, but it was like multiple characters that I had to read for, and I knew the lighting. And one of my friends used to work she was an actress, but she also used to work for a casting agency. She used to tell me shit like, she would be on those panels, I guess, when somebody would come in for an audition, and literally one of the guys would look for like a blonde for this role or whatever. But then they would send in somebody to kind of throw a wrench in it, like, you know, who's Hispanic or whatever, just to kind of see. And then literally she said this one dude, this actually happened, leaned over and was like, you know, this girl reminds me of a girl I used to date. And boom, she got the thing. And it fucks you up because you're like, you're doing it. You do no matter what. You do whatever you can. Like you said, you get the lighting, you get the fucking set rid of, you get the clothing, and then you do it. And you know, there's some asshole in a chair who's not going to follow the rules that he specifically gave you and go, this reminds me too much of an uncle that touched me. I'm not booking this fucking guy, you know? And you're like, that's, I don't know why I went with that one, but
Jesus, of all things, John.
Of all things. Yeah. I could have gone with anything. And yet I drew from my past. No, I'm just kidding. Ignore that. No, I really didn't.
Let's unpack that.
I think that brings us back
puts on his doctor hat.
Hey, John, this is my podcast now.
We need to have you break into random podcasts and just do that. All right, I'm taking over.
Yeah. Well, no, then if people, because unfortunately people will look at me if I break into a podcast and they'd be like, oh no, here comes like the Alex Jones. Like I'll be like, what do you do for a living? And people are like, what the fuck? Like,
but you know, I love the headphones too, because it does kind of look like you're like, we just tapped into a helicopter pilot's feed. Yeah. And he's like, guys, I'm trying to fucking land this shit.
Can you hear the, you know what, this joke would have hit if I knew the name of the song, the Vietnam song.
From Billy Joel.
No. What? Wait, is it Son? Brad's Son?
Something Son, yes.
Oh, it's it's fucking, you know,
Fortunate Son.
Fortunate Son.
There we go.
Some folks are born made to raise a flag. We should just break into song. Everyone's gonna be like, what are you talking about?
It's Dystopia, the musical.
Yeah.
Please don't throw me with a good time.
What's your favorite musical of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time.
West Side Story, probably. And
All
I really enjoyed the new movie. I think everyone should see it.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good. It really is good. West Side is, I think, my favorite of all time. But I have a bunch. Like, I love Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like really new musicals. I feel like they all kind of starting to sound the same. And like it has to, like, everyone's trying to like outdo themselves, like with like cast recordings. So this is a big issue, I think. On cast recordings, people are fucking like wailing and screaming and like hitting these crazy notes, and then like they have to maintain this like in the show, or like people are kind of like, not say upset because like, you know, you're setting a precedence, but then like everybody who's like also going in for this like now is going to try and replicate what you've done, and like people are, like wrecking their voices and shit. So it's like, I don't know. I love Broadway. I love doing Book of Mormon. That'd be sick.
Oh man, yeah.
That'd be a dream. If anybody's watching,
if you were, we'll cut that clip out and send it to them. I should have said that way more sincerely, and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I was like, yeah, sure.
Hey, John. Hey, fuck you, John.
Sorry.
We'll cut. Yeah, we'll cut it out and send it to them. Have a good night.
It just. It came out so wrong. Yeah, buddy, we'll do it. But if you could look out into the, let's say you're doing a play, the one you want to do, whatever it is. Let's say you're looking out into the audience. Who would you want to see? Like if it was somebody famous that you would love to have
So someone famous, so like not family, not my girlfriend, not like
not anybody not anybody that really matters, but somebody that you wanted to like like, you know, that you admire, that you were like, oh man, they're gonna get to watch me do a set,
living or dead,
perform,
living or dead,
either one, go for it.
Dead Conan O'Brien. No.
Could you? I swear to God, if he winds up.
No. Conan O'Brien would probably be right now, because like, if we're talking living, like I would say Conan or Stephen Colbert.
Nice.
Or like South Park guys. I love respect those. Like I love late night. I love and I know that those guys are late night, but South Park was on late.
It was technically on pretty late. You're right.
Made it work.
But like, I love what they do, and I feel like we grew up so much with, you know, and I think you and I have the same love for Conan as everyone, 100%. And I think he's always like top tier. But like guys like that, like I love what you do. I love hosting. I love good conversation, and I think you know, to just have someone like that and then have a conversation with them afterwards would just be so awesome. Like I love, I think that's what's special about late night. It's it's so conversational, and you get to there's good interviews where it's like but then like there's some people who are there just to kind of like push like
Yeah.
what they're promoting, but like and that's why I really like when it's just like a real you can tell when it's a real conversation.
Yep.
Like Colbert just had Bob Odenkirk on, and it was
Oh,
such a
God.
good, it was a great interview. It
Yeah.
was such a great interview, and Odenkirk was also on Howard Stern. If you haven't heard it, great.
Oh,
He
no,
tells,
I haven't seen that
tells,
one yet.
tells really good. He tells a really good story about Farley.
Oh, nice.
But like so people who I would like seeing the audience dead, not dead, but Abraham Lincoln.
What a great
fucking-
turn of phrase.
No,
You want to see this show?
no,
From the
yeah.
stage.
I would say, yeah.
Ken wants
Uh,
to give Lincoln
John-
his second shot in the theater.
I would say like Robin Williams, Chris Farley, John
Yeah.
Belushi, those guys.
Those guys would be great.
Gilda Radner, Gene Wilder.
Oh, man.
Like people like that, I really admire and love. Eli Manning, alive. Now I'm just talking about my heroes.
This is the full front row.
They all came. They all came. You asked for one person, right?
I did. No, that was great. I like that you booked the whole front row. That's pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
No, that's great, man.
But but there is one seat still taped off for my dad.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, man. That's really sweet. I like that you brought. I was like, somebody that you know, don't know, anybody. And you're like, no, that's what I'm going with. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. How about
Yeah.
you?
Me? I don't know. These are the questions I asked. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool if Robin, if it was somebody that wasn't. I mean, I never got to meet him, and I'm bummed out. I feel like he would have just been a really chill dude. I should have gone to see him when he was touring. I never did. I don't know why I never did. I saw a bunch of other comics when they were doing that kind of shit, and I just never went out. Yeah, him. Yeah, man. I think I don't know. It's weird because I feel like I don't know if I'd pick comedians because I've worked with a bunch that I really like. But acting wise, Paul Rudd would be great. I mean, I feel like that would just be awesome to see him chilling out, sitting in the audience. You know, Ellen, I love too. I mean, that's somebody I've never gotten to meet. She's a little. It's one of those people that like, yeah, she's done stand up, but like,
Yeah.
I would just like to sit, you know, and talk with her just because
Yeah.
she's obviously, I don't know, ascended, I guess is the right word.
Yeah.
Like that level, you know what I mean? Like she's done the stand up thing so many times. She came back after a 20-year fucking retirement, crushed that stand up set.
Yeah.
You know, like she never stopped, which is amazing. So that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Not to cut you off. What do you think is what is the best stand up set of all time? And Tom, you could answer this too if you have
That's a
a
good
favorite
question.
one.
Best of all time.
Good question.
It's one of those things where like I love Carlin and I love Richard Pryor, but they're not.
So this is I listened to another podcast called Doughboys, and somebody just I don't know if you guys listen. It's a great podcast.
Mhm.
And it's a fast food based podcast, and they just said it tonight on the episode today. It's like if there was like for a cheeseburger, if like aliens were to come down and like you had to present them one thing from like a fast food restaurant where it's like this is
What?
the cheeseburger, what would it be? So like
Ooh.
if aliens came down and like you were like this is the one stand up comedy set that you could give them, what would it be?
Right. Oh my God, that's a fucking.
Depends on what type, because I feel like, okay, so comedy to me is like all types of burgers, right?
Yeah,
So you got to
it's
give me like the
subjective.
best, like like the best double bacon cheese, the best like mushroom burger, the best. So like I feel like Rodney's set of like one-liners and hitting them is going to be real different than like a Carlin or like a Chappelle like drawn out story and like build and take you on a journey, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on like what you want to serve them. Like
I would go. I mean, if I would almost pick. I'm trying to think of the ones that made me laugh the hardest. Eddie Murphy's Delirious. There is nothing that made me like belly laugh fucking harder than that. And also Robin Williams live at the Met.
Yeah.
I remember watching that like it was elite. I remember before I even saw that on VHS, which I still have the VHS. I don't know why I don't have a VCR player, but I have all my.
Because they're
videos.
ancient.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some kind of fucking relic. But I had the first two stand-up CDs I had were Jerry Seinfeld's I'm Telling You for the Last Time and Robin Williams Live at the Met. Two completely different forms of stand-up, and yet fucking hilarious. Because I think Seinfeld's a good example of pure observational stand-up. You know what I mean? Like plane air travel, all unique takes. really just the meat and bones of what it is. And then Robin Williams is that frenetic fringe kind of improv mixed with stand-up energy, that comes at you rapid fire, which I loved when I was a kid, that there were adults who could not keep up with the pace of that because my brain was fine with it. I was like, what are you talking about? It's perfectly fine. Normal pacing. Richard Jeni also, I don't know if you ever said Kid from Brooklyn.
No, I didn't know that.
Richard Jeni's fucking hilarious. He is like another comic who's like one of the absolute best. Like took something and just broke it down to its fucking core, to like the bone marrow of a bit. There was nothing left to it. He was great. I'm trying to think of another stand. But like today, Bill Burr, Let It Go is one of my favorite stand-up specials of all time.
Bill Burr is so good. He's so funny.
He's another one that's great. But also, like, there's another thing too, is like Brian Regan. Like, I would get, like, if I was giving Aliens a thing, I'd be like, here's a taste, because Brian Regan is pure fucking funny.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I'm like, I don't care about clean. I don't like when people talk about the purity of stand-up comedy whatsoever, because it's such fucking bullshit. Because those are the people who think you can go on stage and say fuck and get a laugh. And it's like,
no.
Then do it, because you can't and you won't. And I think it's about placement and timing, and it's a seasoning. It's like if you're making a stew and you add nothing to it, you're like, oh, this is fucking bland as shit. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. So there's that. But Brian Regan is just pure fucking funny. So it's hard, man. I mean, there's a weird, again, I gave a whole front row answer to that, but that's a hard one. Do you have a favorite special? And Ellen too, though, like Ellen, the beginning, that was a great, but you know what too? Oh God, see, this is the thing. Eddie Izzard's Dressed to Kill. Again, one of the all-time best fucking stand-up specials. I
don't know. For me, it's hard for me. Like, I love Seinfeld and I love Eddie Murphy Raw. Was also one of my favorite specials ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot which Robin Williams one it was. I think it may have been one of his last specials. It's one where he does the golf joke. Golf.
That's the one he did in 2000 live on Broadway. Yeah.
Like live, and that was like so much fun. And like him like coming back to do that was like crazy, because like now it's like it was like him
2002
like
he did it.
Oscar,
he did it after 9/11.
An Oscar winner coming back to Broadway and doing stand-up, which is like something, and that was like after 9/11, it was just like, this is what the world is kind of looking like right now. It's just like like stand-ups don't really do Broadway anymore. It's like kind of like rare. So like for someone like of his stature to come do it for that was crazy. I will say I really think, and I wouldn't give this to Aliens, but I really love Bo Burnham's special.
Oh yeah.
I think like that was such a that'll be one I feel like we talk about for a while, because like that encapsulated the pandemic and comedy. I feel like as a whole,
that was a time capsule.
That's that one. People like will look back on that years from now and be like that was like that came out of the pandemic. Like
absolutely.
So it's really special.
That's a good point too. I like that one.
I'm trying to think what else. I like Bo Burnham a lot. I think
it's hard too, because I love I love guys like Bill Maher. I mean, I know that's like a but like I don't think I would give that to somebody as like this is your first foray into stand up, and he's got some hard fucking opinions. You know what I mean? Like that's rough.
I think I would give Aliens Conan the old timey baseball. That's what I would give them.
I have a VHS of Conan that I love, and I wish I could play it again. But it was like they put out this special. That was like a clip show almost. That was like his 5 year. It was like some kind of anniversary thing. And I swear to God, I wish I could find it on YouTube, because it was the funniest ensemble of it had that clip of him and Norm. Norm's another.
I was going to say, how do you not give Norm to Aliens? It was in my head.
That's true.
Norm
is a great one to give to. Even did you see the shit he was doing on YouTube before? For fucking COVID. That was, I mean, just pure genius, man.
Bob Saget.
Oh, Bob Saget. Yeah. Bob
Mitch
Saget. Mitch Hedberg. Yeah. And oh man, even like Louis Black I would give too, because that guy is like, it's like, hey, you want to see how frustrated we fucking are? Here's a guy who's the epitome of that.
I feel like
Louis
C.K. is a very fun stand-up.
Yeah, I mean, actually, no, that's a good point too. Louis C.K. That like he's another one of those guys that would put out so much content. It's like I would only recommend like a couple, because I didn't find all of them great. You know what I mean? Like not every single one. It was like his last one before, he went away for a bit. for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Although, did you know he was performing in the Ukraine right when it
He,
broke
I
out?
know.
he was supposed to,
He
yeah.
was supposed
Yeah,
to,
this
yeah.
week, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So
the
good.
fucking New York Post, those pieces of shit, were like, canceled comedian Louis. Just get off it. No one's. It's over. Stop it.
And it's funny enough, Louis did get off it.
Oh god, that was good. That was nice. But like his bit about banking, I would give to Alien.
Yes, his bank one where you're too broke. He's like, no, you don't understand how this works.
Yeah, he's like, I gave you like, yeah, like you owe us money, so we're gonna take more money from you. So now I have -20 in my account. It's a great bit. I really do like comedians that kind of describe the culture around them at the time.
Yeah. It's like we said, a time capsule. Like Bo Burnham is a time capsule of COVID. It really is like a time capsule of like what the world was like, because comedians would talk about stuff that people could relate to, and most likely to stuff in that time.
People don't
Which is
realize
really-
how much of the culture comes from comedy. Like I always, we had this guy on, Richard Zoglin, who wrote a book called Comedy at the Edge. Great fucking book. Came out in 2008. Loved it. But it really does show, like, you know, the timeline from like, hey, look, there's Richard Lewis, Paul Reiser, Jerry Seinfeld, all those guys that are coming up, and even the other, you know, the ones who kind of started it before them, basically, like that guy, fucking can't think of his name, but anyway, I'll fill that in later too. But you know, it's like, yeah, but they all branched out into TV and they all started writing sitcoms and having their own sitcoms. So most of the vernacular and all the shit that you grew up with, or that your parents grew up with, that found funny, came out of the stand-up scene in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And people don't understand it.
It is interesting because, you know, like even like they all laid the groundwork for like what it emulsified into now. Like, you know, like the groundwork was laid, and then it was just like, well, Dangerfield, and then it was like Seinfeld, and it was like how the landscape changed and like how Seinfeld changed it, and then it was just like from Seinfeld to like, you know, go on, so on and so forth. So
right,
it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is weird, especially the way Seinfeld changed it, because there was a lot of guys that just came out of the 90s that were like, have you ever noticed? And you were like, fuck. But it goes through waves. I mean, we're going through a wave right now where I don't know what's going on, but I feel like everybody's kind of like we were talking about before with like the clips and shit like that. There's a lot of homogenous shit going on with TikTok and stuff, where I feel like the same way it kind of burned itself out when people had TV and stand up. I can't scroll through any fucking content on the internet without coming across somebody's clip, and they're not ready to be posted, by the way. I feel like, here's a piece of advice. If you got a set of yourself doing stand up and there's anybody fucking laughing in the background, don't post the goddamn set. It's not good, you know, but they do it anyway. They're like, I got to get my stuff out there. And I'm like, oh, but you don't.
Yeah. Don't, because you're doing yourself a disservice.
Absolutely.
It's like, you know, like I can work on a character and I'll be like, oh, like, you know, oh, I'm going to put this character out there, but it's like, it's not like an open mic situation. It's like, it's out there now. You can't put up the new clip of the exact same joke changed 2 months from now and be like, no, here, this one.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I saw this one.
Now you'll like it. You're like, will I though? Dude, I want to thank you for coming on. We've been on for an hour and a half, which is
Seriously,
great. I'm going to give you the last 3 questions that we ask every guest.
Please.
Yeah. So, first question, if you can go back in time, talk to your younger self and give yourself a piece of advice that would help you today, what would it be?
Stop second guessing. Just do it and have fun.
Nice. Very nice. Did you do it a lot in the beginning?
Not even like younger. I feel like when I was younger, I would always like I came into myself. Like when you met me, I started coming into myself more. But when I was younger, I was like always silly, but I feel like I was more reserved because like it was kind of like it was taboo to be the class clown. It was taboo to like, you know, be like the loud mouth and stuff in class. Like, and I feel like if I had just allowed myself to, I wish I was me when I was in high school and when I was in middle school, because I feel like I would have had like more fun, and like I feel like I think that's it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Second question, what had to end in your life, good or bad, that led you to where you are today?
What had to end? I would say that's interesting. What had to end, good or bad, to get me to where I am today? The idea of trying to please everyone. You you're not going to please everyone, and I don't think, I hope that's not a cop out answer. I feel
No.
like that like the sooner you realize that you're not going to be everyone's favorite, or you're not going to be friends with everyone, and you'll stop trying and dealing with those people and trying to keep those people around, and you'll kind of like end toxic friendships and stuff like that sooner. And I think it's important. I think the idea of not pleasing everyone.
Yeah, that's great, man. And the last question is my favorite because it ties into the show. This is a real dystopia, and there were aliens, zombies, fucking earthquakes, the whole shebang. World's on fire. What's your epic death? How do you want to go out?
How do I want to go out? Oh man, I want to go out kind of like, I want to go out like in the end of Independence Day, like like hey boys, I'm here, like type thing, where and everyone's like, Ken, no, ends it all though, and everyone's like, he did that, like he like oh, he saved it, he did it for us, like so like that, yeah, I feel
Beautiful.
like that would be, yeah, a comedic hero's journey.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
That's great. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
our artist draw you as Randy Quaid.
Yeah, yeah. Except, can you make him draw me with a beard and like being like, "Yeah, Trump is the best," like fucking
Randy Quaid now? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
right, yeah. I mean, that would be awful. That would suck so much.
Yeah. No. It'll be nice. Dude, you're the best, man. I miss you. I can't wait to
I
get
miss
together with
you.
you in person.
Such a
Love you
pleasure, man.
guys.
So nice to meet you.
Tom, so nice
For
to meet
real.
you. Thank you for having me. Love your show. Thank
Thanks.
you for having me as a part of your murderous rows of guests. Seriously, it means a lot. Now is the time to plug.
Yeah, plug.
Yeah, plug
Cool.
away.
Go Ukraine. Fuck
You
yeah,
can
baby.
Ken's like KenMcGrawUkraine.com.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything to plug right now, but I do want to say,
I will plug your Instagram and stuff. We'll get people to follow you and shit. That'll be nice.
At the Ken McGraw on Instagram,
Nice.
at Ken McGraw on Twitter. My girlfriend and I have a Disney theme park Instagram called at Brooklyn Park Hoppers. You can just follow that.
I
A lot
love
of
that
fun
one.
stuff. Yeah, thanks, man.
It bums me out when I see the food because sometimes I'm like, oh, where the fuck did he get that in Brooklyn? And then it's like, no, it's in fucking Disney because I'm following the account.
Yeah, man. Sorry. You want
It's
to
good
post
shit.
more Brooklyn shit? It'd be like, oh, this pizza's from fucking Vinny Wunsch and fucking.
It's all. What if you had a
Let's
Brooklyn
go
food?
Yankees, and fucking.
It'd be great if you had a Brooklyn food Instagram, but it was just a slice of pizza every day.
John, that's fucking funny, John. God damn it.
Just
I
do
can't
it.
take that. No, I can't take that.
I'm not gonna do it. Just fucking do it.
That
It'd
is
be
really
great.
funny.
Yeah.
That is really funny. The same slice of photo, the same
Same
photo,
slice, just photo every single day.
different
Brooklyn.
angles.
Oh man. Well, this has been a blast, dude. Thank you so much.
guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
having me.
man.
Love you too,
Such a
man.
pleasure, man.
Of course.
Pleasure. Let me-
Dystopia tonight.